So it's good to see that even Curiosity, still going strong after a decade, basically, is still producing these amazing results. And it's showing you that we needed confirmation yet again that it's witnessing the evidence of a much different, much wetter Mars in the distant past. We don't know just how far back this material was laid down in terms of the liquid water in the area, but it's a different Mars that was there in the past, a transition period, and it's going to be absolutely fascinating whenever we can study some of the rocks like that, and the ones that we hope will be brought back from the ExoMars mission in the future, when we can study them on Earth. Distinct possibility of finding some fossil type material on that. I'm sure you're just as excited, Nick.
I am. The thing is, it's boots on the ground again. It's this argument, and going back to Professor Sir Martin Rees, for example, the Astronomer Royal, and his debate of where we talked about this in the past, where people are saying, should we be just using robots? No, if we had a geologist there right now looking at that, could you imagine what we could get from that? So the notion of putting people on Mars, and SpaceX is saying that potentially within the next 1 or 2 launch windows, they're aiming to put people into at least Mars orbit. Now, putting people on the ground, there's still this huge argument of getting scientists on the ground before we start putting commercial tourists, etc. It has to happen. If and it's a good point at ground-based space. What if human life started on Mars? This is the thing, is that we've got so much evidence now from organics in meteorites, and I've got meteorites behind me in the cabinets, some Martian meteorites, NWA 869, which is kind of the same type as the Allen Hills 84001, which shows evidence of percolated water having gone through it. We know that there was water on Mars. We know that there's sporadic methane. We still don't know if it's abiotic or biological methane. All these unanswered questions. And going back to the China thing, China has said again they aim to be the first to bring back samples now. They're on a real space race against the United States, and it's a great thing, because obviously what we saw with Apollo, with the old former Soviet Union and the United States, is innovation being driven forward at a rapid pace because of national pride and geopolitics. Now, if China is saying that they want to get to Mars first, they've had a very successful first attempt at Mars, putting it mildly, having both an orbiter and a lander and a rover on the Martian surface in one hit is spectacular for anyone, by anyone's standards. Europe have been trying to do this for 50 years and haven't got anywhere. Same with Russia. So China hitting it first time, and obviously the work that they've done on the moon as well, we've talked about many times. I think, though, boots on the ground is the key one here. We can send as many robots as we want, and we could drill in, and we could, potentially bring back samples. But, as you know, Terry, it's like the analogy of if you put somebody on the Earth in the middle of the Atacama Desert and said, right, is there any life? If an alien species landed in the middle of the Atacama Desert and they had half an hour on, in the middle of the Paranal region, and is there any life? Well, no, they'd probably think it was barren and dry and dead. So it's that ability to truly explore, and you only have to go back to Apollo 17. We just talked about, Jack Schmitt and Gene Cernan wandering around on the lunar surface for 3 days and discovering incredible things because they had a geologist there. Gene Cernan saying, "Oh, it's orange soil," and Jack Schmitt saying, "Well, wait until I have a look at it because I'm the geologist." Oh yeah, heck. So this is the thing. We need to get boots on the ground, and this is my furious argument with Professor Sir Martin Rees, and huge respect to him as an astronomer, but step away from the space science. And in particular, the key thing as well with the advent of more and more commercial space activities, if we start just focusing on the commercialization of Mars and sending tourists to Mars and all of these things that SpaceX are contemplating, we're never going to find out if that, if human life, as ground-based space has put in the chat, if human life started on Mars. We don't know. We will never know because we'll have contaminated it so much that there'll never be a way to absolutely 100% say, oh yeah, there was life on Mars before we got there. You've got to send, properly trained scientists, properly protected robots, etc. Not contaminate the planet with hundreds of people. Just, do it in small steps, like we do with, the Antarctic research stations. These, in the modern era, send proper scientists there first.